All right, let's talk about episode 2. Hey, what's up, you guys? Before we get into the review, this section was recorded after the review, but I kind of had to shove it in there to remind you guys that I stream live on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over at twitch.tv/GeekSpeakGaming. So go over there and give me a follow. I'm on my way to become an affiliate. I am over halfway there, so go ahead and give me that follow. It's going to be linked down in the description, and it's also going to be down there in the comment sections. I really would appreciate it. And make sure that you follow me on Twitter and or Instagram to always get updated on when I do an extra stream throughout the week. Like today, I'm going to be doing an extra stream, so come on over. It's going to start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Into the review. This is actually like my second time trying to record my thoughts on this second episode, because my thoughts, like the pacing of this episode, are all over the place. There is a lot that happens in this second episode. That happens, it feels like it's happening way too early for most other mysteries, right? Most of the time in these types of scenarios, we're talking about, the spiritual creatures, mythological creatures, all that stuff. There's a secret ceremony that's going to happen, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. Normally, it takes a while before you get the reveal of, this is what the ceremony is about, and whether or not it actually ends up happening or ends up being effective will remain to be seen. But a lot of our questions get answered almost immediately in the second episode or by the end of it. And it was like, I don't know, it was strangely unsatisfying in that regard. I've never really had that happen with a mystery show where we get the answers, or what are seemingly the answers, very quickly. Between the stuff with the Adam and Eve and all that stuff, which kind of feels a little bit contradictory to what we're setting up with this Lovecraftian horror. You know, we think Lovecraft, you think of these ethereal, otherworldly beings that are quite literally beyond our comprehension, and the magnitude of their control over the planes of existence, and how, our very existence in and of itself are just games to them, for like looking at ants, they're specks of amusement, and their only interest is ripping down the veil and gaining control in, the real world, supposedly our interpretation of the real world. So to have everything kind of be explained in this lackluster kind of like, we're opening a portal to the Garden of Eden, and that's about it. It was kind of took me out of it a little bit, especially when the Elder Freeman, when he goes in and he's in his library, and it's like he ends up finding out all of this information because someone happens to leave a book of all their rules in their library. Like, it's just a very convenient way for him to exposit all of this story. I'm normally not this very nitpicky in general about reviews, but it kind of struck me weird. Like, okay, so there just happened to be a book that contained all the laws and rules of their lodge, and he was able to use this against them in order to seize the day and able to seize more control in the situation. It was very, very strange, and the admittance of like, we're using spells and magic and all this stuff, and it was odd. It was just very, very odd of a first episode, and that's why it's been kind of hard for me in the second episode. That's why it's been kind of hard for me to review it, because it's hard for me to encapsulate all my feelings around it, because it wants you to feel so many things at once. It wants you to feel terrified, it wants you to feel horror, but at the same time it wants you to laugh occasionally and go on this grandiose, almost Indiana Jones-esque adventures, but with black people in the 50s, but then it's going to switch it and reverse on you, and then all of a sudden now we're back in the cosmic horror, but now we're in this like biblical sci-fi horror, and then all of a sudden we're grieving a massive character death or a massive character reveal. Our characters are traumatized, and it's like, oh my god, I am getting thrown all over the place. I'm getting thrown all over the place, and it kind of makes me wonder where they're going to be taking the series next, right? Because for the most part, we have our answers to most of our things, right? We have most of that to most of our questions. I feel like the only things that we don't have the answers to, are what effects is this failed ceremony going to have, and a little bit more of Tick's real heritage and his family, and maybe what the effect the ceremony had on him, and and it seems like the failed ceremony is going to perpetuate itself throughout the world, possibly, and creating more creatures and more paranormal activities, if you will. Just what it seems like it's going to happen. I don't know. It just, for the most part, we have everything answered. So it's is the byproduct of what's going to happen in each episode just hey, now we're living in a world where you're getting your racial social commentary mixed in with, random horror elements in order to convey a message, but at the same time, our excuse for the things that are happening that maybe aren't necessarily all that well correlated is just the fact that this failed ceremony to the Garden of Eden happened, or more monsters are coming to light. Who knows? I'm not sure what direction it's going. And I saw that kind of sneak peek for the next episode, and they're just going back to they're going back home, and they're trying to get established back in their lives again despite everything that's happened, but more paranormal things are happening. I don't know, it's just this episode just hit weird, and it's all the elements are there for it to be engaging. The acting is great, the music is great, the set design, sound design, it doesn't matter. Every single aspect of the show is great. The casting's great. Everything about it is set, but it just did not carry that same momentum over from the first episode into the second episode, in my personal opinion. And it just, I don't know, it lost me. It lost me, and it's, This was an odd episode. A very odd episode. And like I said, it just kind of feels contradictory to this kind of Lovecraftian, stories that we were supposed to be getting in the first place, right? It just kind of feels a little contradictory. But I mean, look, it's only the second out of 10 episodes, right? Maybe we get to episode 10, the full grandiose story and overall pitch is revealed, and then we're oh, okay. I see what you did there. This was all setting up for all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. But right now, as just a week-to-week viewing experience, I'm just I don't know. I feel like this show would be better if it was being binged, right? Maybe the pacing would work better if it was just going beat to beat, and you're oh, okay, I got to keep going through the story, see what happens next, and see how these things end up affecting other things and what the show has to say. But right now, it's just week to week. It's just maybe that's also playing a part of it as well. It's just not hitting for me. It's just not hitting for me. I don't know. It's kind of strange talking about the spoilers, because it's most of them are pretty blatantly explained, the children of Adam and all this other stuff, and trying to open the portal to Eden, and it's and most of it doesn't really need to be explained any more than in face value, because knowing exactly what happens on the other side really ruins the mystique of the whole entire point of Lovecraftian horror, is the unknown, right? So, I don't know, man. Maybe you guys are a little more feeling a little more of the vibe on this episode, but I'm just not. It just didn't hit for me. I'm still gonna watch the show and still see where it ends up going and where this mystery ends up going. The performances are really what held it together for me. But yeah, the pacing was just all off. It was just all off, and the story just felt all over the place, and it made me try to force me to feel a lot of things, but I just couldn't, because I was so wrapped up in all the other feelings they wanted me to feel at the same time. But maybe that's just me. But let me know what you thought about this episode in the comment sections down below. Maybe I'm just not getting it. Maybe I'm just out of touch, but I was just sitting there watching it. It's just I guess he has a snake in his pants. Sure, I get it, metaphors, but why is this happening? But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this episode. And also, while you're down there, yeah, just let me know what you think about how this compares to the first episode as well. And did it carry the same momentum for you? And are you going to keep watching week to week, and you're going to continue to watch the show? I am. I'm still interested in seeing where it goes, but just a little let down by the second episode. No big deal. Keep it pushing. But with that being said, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And if you like this review, hit that like button. And if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to become part of the GeekSpeakNation channel to get more weekly reviews of Lovecraft Country. I really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm Daniel, and don't forget to get geeky.